Hey, the veteran. We're getting bored here. You got a story for us? Oh, I got a lot of stories from the zone. Okay, this one's about the Nightmare Forest. The Nightmare Forest? I never heard of such a place before. Then listen. Our story starts after the large emission of September, which opened new routes to areas never explored before. One of these areas was the Red Forest, and so an experienced stalker and his fellow comrades decided to go there to check the place out. They had heard the stories of people disappearing in the forest, so they decided to not take too much risks. They would stay at the edge of the area, get a couple of artifacts and head back south. While they were camping at the entrance of the forest, a group of experts came by, professional guys with a lot of experience and expensive equipment. The experts told the stalkers that they were going on an expedition deep in the forest. They wanted to see how far they could get. Our stalkers, impressed by the experts, decided to stay there and wait for their return. And so they waited, and the wait was long. After a day or two, they were convinced that the experts would not come back, but finally, a lone exoskeleton emerged from the forest. The man, exhausted and out of breath, his armor shredded, fell at the feet of our stalkers. They took good care of him, not only because he had some nice artifacts in his backpack, but also because they wanted to hear from him what had happened. But the poor guy was so shocked that he could not talk for several days. After a while, he suddenly started to speak, but it seemed that he had gone crazy. He was mumbling much like a zombie, so our stalkers thought that the group of experts just got too close to the S.T.A.L.K.E.R and had their brains fried. But the survivor, when shown a map, drew a cross far to the north and kept pointing at it. He was trying to say something, but the stalkers could not understand. Then he grabbed a gun, and before anyone could stop him, he handed himself. The owner of the map did not know what the mark meant, but as days passed by, he kept thinking about the experts and became obsessed with it. He wanted to check out that place, but he was not yet ready to go that close to the center of the zone. Moreover, a second large emission occurred, which re-established stability to the zone, but also blocked the roads to the Red Forest. Fast forward a few months, and our man with the map has built his own team of experienced stalkers. When the brain scorcher was disabled, they took their chance and headed straight to the Red Forest. Of course, there were a lot of other people rushing towards the center of the zone at that time, but most of them were aiming for Pripyat or the power plant, whereas our guys went deep into the forest, straight for the mysterious cross on the map. They did not know what they would find there, but the artifacts they would collect along the way would for sure make it worth it. In the Red Forest they encountered many mutants and zombies, but they were well prepared and dealt with them. Suddenly, they reached a new part of the forest, which was very bizarre. The stalker with the map could not really tell why that was the case, but this area was different from the rest of the forest. As they were getting very close to the objective, he understood that something was not right, but could not point out what it was. The Scorcher had been disabled, but this area had strong psi emissions nonetheless. Hopefully their equipment could handle it for now, and they had just to deal with mild hallucinations and phantoms. Now they were almost there, and the psi emissions were getting stronger, but the group kept going. as they were just thinking that it was an anomaly. They had seen a symbiont anomaly earlier in the Red Forests, and thought that the area under the cross would just turn out to be a similar anomaly, but huge, with potentially full of nice and expensive artifacts. They were wrong. There, on the ground before them, was a large and dark hole. The leader, the man with the map, approached the hole, but he could not see anything inside. Suddenly, a sinister laughter was heard coming from the hole. And the Psy emissions reached their peak, forcing the stalkers on their knees. And then they understood that they were toast, when 3 controllers came out of the dark. No one has had the guts to check out this place ever since, and this area has earned the nickname of Nightmare Forest. The legend also says that inside of this dark hole is where all the controllers are born. In any case, moral of the story is, know the difference between the Psy emissions emitted by anomalies and the ones emitted by controllers. That will save your life.